I think that as much as you are not the problem, you are the problem when the group cannot come together to make a decision.
Okay.
And the reason
Well, back to the players.
for that, back to the players, back to
you.
I mean, this works kind of anywhere, but specifically in the scope of this conversation for TTRPGs, D&D, and play and fun, we don't want to lose. You mentioned that before.
We
You
don't,
mentioned that
as-
a couple times.
as
We don't want to
gamers.
lose money. We don't
Yeah.
want to lose
Oh, I know,
options.
as
We don't want to
people.
lose gold, XP,
Yeah.
characters, backstories.
Opportunities.
So many backstories.
Should be so lucky.
What is that?
Human nature?
I'm going to tell you. No, it's not human nature. Well, maybe actually, but I think you can recognize it if you're at your table and you still haven't. Everyone has this anecdote where you still can't make up your minds. Where you still can't agree. You've discussed ad nauseum, right? People have not been productively communicating for a while now. Now heels are dug in, right? Nobody wants to budge. Nobody wants to find that common ground. Right? Did you fail when you got to that point? Did you fail to find a solution or resolution to what's going on? Maybe, but only if you allow that to be a failure.
Only if you're a quitter.
I think, coward. I think
Dissenter.
that
Traitor.
probably not. And my hint is no, you didn't fail. I think you may have gotten
Is that
past.
a hint?
That's my hint. I think that you may have just gotten out beyond your depth.
Cast Revivify right now.
No, cast Revivify in 12 seconds. 'Cause
Yeah.
That's how long. 2 hits. Bam, bam. I think what's happening here, and this might be my own hot take for this evening, if you're watching this evening, this morning or day. Good day, by the way.
Is it? Yeah, it's great.
As much as you might consider us experts, I'll put in quotation. Or
That is a hot take.
People who, if I just stated it, that's the first part. But if we're experts because we've been talking about stuff, and yes, I put experts in quotation. We just like to discuss D&D a lot.
We're forced to discuss it.
We're forced to here. There's something that we can't really help you with. This problem, this thing that prevents you from finding cohesion in the group.
Halitosis?
No, we can definitely, we'll send you a bottle of scope. No, this thing that's stopping us, we can definitely talk about it though. And that's what I like to call risk, the margin of error, or otherwise known as fear.
Fear. So delicious.
I think we fear losing or being that wrong decision to our character, aka ourself. We don't want to do ourself dirty. We don't want to.
You did yourself dirty.
You did yourself dirty, boy. We don't want to do that. We don't want to take that road because not only are we having something bad happen, but we're choosing to do it to ourselves, right? And we don't want to do it. Or
Story of my life.
Or maybe we can't find the words for the idea that we have to express it, and we're stuck, and you're not giving me the time to express myself, and I just need a moment to think about it, but you're not giving it to me, and so I just give up because you're not going to give it to me, so I just don't care anymore.
Right.
And I'm opting out. Just go do whatever you want. I'm not going to have fun today.
Just didn't check the box.
Right? This is that fear paralyzing us, causing us that kind of fight or flight action.
Yep.
This is that margin of what does it take to close the gap, because I said yes, he said yes, but you have 2% left that it doesn't make sense for you to 2%. Say yes yet. It's just 2%.
It's not just 2%.
That's how much they leave in the milk. We know this. So why is that? What is happening there, right? I think what's didn't happen previously, and next time this comes around, you'll be able to take a moment, to take a pause, and change the script on the moment. Is now that you have those steps, you can understand how to get back on track, how to re-rail the train,
right?
How to not be scared of the unknown, because now you know that you can discuss it. And how do you know that you can discuss it? Because you're now at the point where you know why you can't do the plan. You know why your character or you can't accept it. We've peeled away all those extra options, all that analysis paralysis. You know, when you flip the coin, if you want it to be heads or tails.
Right.
Right. As soon as you flick it in the air, you know what you want. You're like, burritos or pizza, flick. And you're like, oh man, I hope it's burritos. Well, then it doesn't matter. Pizza. No, I'm going to go have burritos because now I know what the problem is, or now I know what I want.
That's how Two-Face is.
We also know that we can discuss this. We also know that we can discuss this as characters, because a character might have a line, a veil, or whatnot that's being crossed. The player might have a line or veil. And we know that we can discuss these in the two different areas, right?
Mm-hmm. In or out.
So, despite our best efforts, we've probably missed something, and fear loves uncertainty.
It sure does.
So what do we do when we find that moment, that bridge, that margin of error working against us? This is the time where we have to go back and we really have to use that active listening and understanding. We did this. You already tried. You did your best.
You did this.
You did your best.
Yeah.
But something slipped through the cracks. Right.
Okay.
So instead of considering it a fail, we're just proving that we need to hone our skills and go back and do it another round. But now it's way easier because we've gotten rid of all the extra stuff. We know what's sticking the gears together and not letting the machine run. Right. I would call it, there's less info clout in the conversation.
You love making up words.
Shakespeare, here I come. But that's what it is. There can be a lot of distraction or too many things to talk about or too many things to think about. But when you're like, my God doesn't allow murder.
My God. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Right. Then we can go, okay, this is the issue. This is a new problem.
Yep.
Now we know what the problem is. We have clearly defined what's happening here. We already did step one. We already did all that work. We can just use these same tools to work through that, work through the fear, work through that kind of imbalance in what it takes to get you to yes. Right. And now we can seek to understand, and really we should be doing this. We should not be contrarian and kind of bashing heads at this point. Right. But we can seek to understand the perspective of the person with the no, or with the judgment or the consideration, because we only have a small amount of things to consider, especially as a player. Right. Oh, yeah, I can see how that would be really tough for you as the religious faithful character to not want to murder. It's against your Okay.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I'm going to empathize with your viewpoint, and I'm going to try and focus on that so that we can establish and open the door to a constructive dialogue. Definitely. And I'm not going to give you any room to wiggle around on this. Absolutely, as the player, you yes and this. Right? The character says, this is a line or veil for my character. This is something that they can't really budge on. I need your help to find a solution because I can't think of one myself. And you go, awesome.
Right.
I get it. Let me as a player try and help you as a player figure this out. The characters can disagree. The characters can be at odds. The characters can have friction, but the players need to work together to find the solution to allow this thing to go forward.
Yeah, like my character definitely is going to find any excuse to leave the group right now. I need your help to keep him in the group.
Right. I want my character to stay.
Yeah.
He wants to go. I'm telling you all that he wants to go.
I don't know how to keep him.
Help me. Help me. Help me. Help you. Help me. Help me. Show me the money. So this is something that we need to pay attention to.
Yeah.
Right. And this can be what gets us kind of over the goal line. That little, because it's always a little bit. It's one thing that stops us from agreeing. So we had goals before. We have new goals now because we went through all that stuff and we missed something. So now we're down to that nitty gritty. So new goal unlocked. We need to identify the root cause of what's going on here. Yes, definitely as players, no wiggle room, maybe as PCs. Okay.
Yep.
This is where that exploration pillar crops up as you start to explore each other's stories, explore each other's characters.
Where the true exploration is.
Truly understand what's going on. Become very clear about what is holding them back from saying yes to your plan because they want to say yes to your plan. There's just something preventing them.
Yes.
Right? Be on their team, be a team player. As a player, not necessarily as a PC. So this is where you can probe the underlying reasons behind the individual's resistance. This is where you can do this as a player so that you can get a clear picture, as a PC so that you can get a clear picture and develop hooks and develop interest and mystique into somebody's, there it is, the hooks. I forgot about that. That's so good.
We missed one earlier.
So don't tell me that.
I know, right?
Now we're at an impasse.
Hookless.
Well, so where was I? Yes. So we're trying to get a reason, and we're understanding that our scene partner is a poet and a scholar, and they're doing their best, and they're just stuck, right? So we need to jump in there and help them out, explore their character, have a great scene. Whether the character breaks down, I'm so sorry that I cannot be there to help you with this. No, we'll figure out a way. You're a part of us. We're not leaving you behind. No, but you don't understand. I've, sacrificed this and I've done that and I've lived my whole life like this. I can't do that. It's okay. We'll find a way to do it.
Right.
Great scene. Very impactful. Very interesting, right? The characters are bonding, right? Understanding the root cause allows you to address it more effectively now, and then you automatically know it in the future. So you don't have to revisit this. We don't have to talk about the same things over and over again.
Yeah.
So we're not wasting time rehashing. We're making productive role play.
Yes.
Sorry, I kind of stagnated or staccatoed that out.
That's good. I love it. More staccatos.
Once you've done that, we've uncovered that root cause. So now we have that clear understanding of what's going on. We're working together empathetically. This is our next new goal that we've unlocked, engaging in empathetic communication. So now that we've identified it.
The antithesis of sociopathy.
Sociopathy?
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah. Sounds like a
well-balanced host here on Caffeine Cantrips.
Yup.
Engaging in empathetic communication.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, I'm sorry.
This is weird and heavy.
I just can't relate as a sociopath. That's all.
I know you can't relate. So yes, back on the train. This is where, like I said, right, we've got a clear understanding of the hesitation, whether it's in the player or the PC. We can communicate empathetically because we're on their team, and we're going to validate the concerns and the feelings, especially if it's in the player. I get it. You don't like X. We talked about this in session 0, and I forgot, my bad. We got to take this out of the plan, and we're going to figure out how to make that work. Right. Understand that, right, that they probably didn't mean to cross that. Or if it's PC interaction, the assassin and the pacifist don't see eye to eye.
We can't kill all the kids.
Right. Or maybe it's the paladin, that kind of lawful goody two shoes, lawful stupid that you're playing against. These things do crop up. Right. And it is something that is almost in every game, I would say.
I think so.
You go to a point where you don't mean to, but you cross somebody else's lines. Right.
In character.
Yeah. As players too. But hopefully it's just in character.
Yeah. Right.
Then you can just clink your mugs and have a sip and have a jolly time.
Send
each other
memes.
Reel. Yeah. Memes. So you've done that. Right. You've got the empathetic conversation going. This is probably going to be quicker, like I said before, as a player level communication, but it can also be a dynamite scene.
If you do it right, if you lean into it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Right. Even if you don't necessarily agree with what's going on, you have to you have to acknowledge their perspective, express the empathy, and move forward. Right. This is that
so
part
important,
of it, right? Accepting, endowing, we talked about that last time, endowing them with those properties, right? And adding will create a deep and memorable impact to what is happening. Even if you're Morgan Freeman, watch out. He was the president of Deep Impact.
Yes, he's more often than not the president these days. Oh yeah. I think, and you've probably heard this before, if you can only be brave when you're scared, you can then only be generous while you're being selfish. Yes.
So they said, no, you're trying to push it. No, you need to back off and give in this moment. Right? So once again,
it's not generosity unless it comes From a root of selfishness.
A sacrifice.
Yeah, exactly.
Of giving something up by agreeing with you. So the only time that you can't be this is when you are preventing the opposite.
Yes.
Wow. So do that. Be generous, right? Find that understanding, that empathy, and give back.
Be selfish so you can be generous.
Caffeine Cantrips.
What a twist.
What a twist. Yes, and this leads us to the last and final goal that you've unlocked. This is, I'm going to call the dance. This is reminiscent of what you were talking about earlier with the facilitator.
Oh, okay.
But this is the fear killer. This is the uncertainty dispeller. This involves 5 things. And you might rotate through them and go back and forward a little bit. But if you're doing it in scene, that it will be impactful and important. If you're doing it as players, it will be effective because you know exactly what you're going after.
Okay.
Or you're dealing with the issues one by one and knocking them away and figuring out what that common ground is.
All right, let's go.
So number 1, you want to explore alternative solutions.
I like it. It's called diction.
Diction. No comment. Next, you want to build consensus through collaboration. You want to offer reassurance and a support. You want to respect the autonomy and boundaries of others. And then you find the solution. Remember how you said find the solution like 2 hours ago?
Yeah.
Yup, we're back there. So exploring the alternative solutions. If you have said no at any point up to this in the decision-making process, this applies double to you.
Yes.
Right? If you have a high amount of edgelord in your character, this applies double to you, player. You need to get in there and brainstorm the alternative solutions or compromises to address the individual's concerns.
This is generosity.
While aligning with the overall goal of the group. Right? You have to work harder if you are part, quote unquote, of the problem.
Yeah.
Because you're a team, right? It's still a group collaborative.
There's nothing more unproductive than someone says no and then it gives no solutions.
Right. I don't like that.
Oh.
Why are you here then?
Okay, then what?
Please, add on.
What do you like?
Yeah. Is there nothing that you like? Like we're trying to help you over your, right? So no is such a killer. So if you said no, you're doubly responsible to come up with solutions.
Yes.
Doesn't put anybody else off the hook. I'm not giving anybody like a free pass here. But if you're preventing it, I would like to see that you're there trying to help and other people can see that you're trying to be collaborative as well. Just saying no, you're being fair to yourself. You want to encourage the creative problem solving and encourage collaboration, especially if you think you see a path to the goal, but you can't quite figure out what it is.
Yep.
And we do this all the time.
All the time.
Yeah. One of us will be like, I see it, but I don't know how to get there. Right.
Yeah.
And then we'll tunnel it out and we'll figure it out together how to get there. And generally, it's worth the effort. It's worth the labor.
Absolutely. Better than anything that I could have come up with or you could have come up alone.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And combining, if you watched our creating characters, combining our 2 intellect styles, right?
That's great.
To work front, back, sideways, upside down, however you like it. We'll figure it out.
And you like it.
But I do like it.
You don't like it.
You
love it.
So when we get into this, right, when we're working towards the path, maybe I can't figure out the path, but I can see it. I just need help. Hey guys, what about this? Think about this.
Right.
I feel like there's some space that we could consider in here, right? Be open. You're talking probably now again as players. Be open with it. Like, remember that time on Star Trek with Geordi and then he did that dive roll when the warp core was? Yes, like that. But how do we do that here?
Yeah, you don't need a specific solution, but you should try to come up with a direction.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But in player talk, you're more free to express that in non-game terms, right? So these things may not have been covered originally. Maybe they were covered originally, and now we need to re-add them back into the pot because it is accepting of what's going on.
Yes.
Of the additional kind of things that prevent us from moving forward. Once we've explored,
Yeah.
we want to build consensus through collaboration. That's what we already started talking about, right? Of here's the idea, help me get there. Engage the decision-making process by inviting people into your world, into your solution so that they can work on it, right? If it's your fear or it's an impasse, you should really, like I said before, that double effort, you should try and become a leader in the moment to try and solve this issue. It doesn't mean you can become tyrannical, right? But it does mean that you really want to work towards finding the goal, finding the way around the barrier.
Yes.
Finding the way, over it, under it, through it, whatever it is. And it's not your problem, but it's your problem.
Right. It's because your problem is the group's problems, but
Yes.
it's specifically related to you. So you are the one who is most close and expert at that particular problem.
Great way of stating it.
Yeah.
So it's easier for you to play with it because you've already played with it. You've already looked at it from a couple different directions. You know how to manipulate it, perhaps, where the gray area is, right? Become a little bit of a lawyer yourself, right? And encouraging that open dialogue and that compromise, that generosity is where you need to be.
Yep.
So now, like I said before, feel free to make this part of the player level conversation. It will make it faster. Because after we do that, we offer the reassurance and support of these decisions when solutions are found or being worked on.
Aftercare. Nice.
Yeah. We need to recognize that people are putting themselves out on a limb by standing up for their principles or their morals as a player or a PC.
Yes.
Right? So this is us
that.
recognizing the safety tools, recognizing what's going on, recognizing that they're being brave and they're speaking up against the group, right? We need to provide reassurance that their voice is valued and their concerns are being taken seriously. I've said it before. I'll say it again. This is very important for the longevity of your game.
Right. Even Neville Longbottom got points for his house for disagreeing and trying to stop the heroes.
Correct.
Because he thought it was the wrong thing to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The hero.
Right?
Yeah.
The true chosen one.
Fight me.
Prove me wrong.
Then, like I said before, right, we have to respect that autonomy and boundaries. So we reassure them and we support them, and then we get back to respecting the autonomy and boundaries.
Yes, finally.
Right? This is ultimately respect to the individual for the player agency, for the player agency, right? And their safety at the table, right? And the decisions that they make. We want to avoid pressuring or coercing people to go against themselves, specifically after they've already said no. You can just pound them down and pound them down and pound them down. They're probably going to leave, or they're not going to like what's happened. Right?
Yeah.
And you'll know it. You know what you're doing, right? They know what you're doing. It doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
So when we get to the point where we want to do that, we need to back off and remember to respect the boundaries.
We say that jokingly, but it's super serious.
It is super serious.
Right?
I just, I don't make light of it. I make light of it when people try it on me. My boundaries are
what you trying to do?
Well defined, and I have no problem speaking up. But that's me. That's my story. That's my experience.
That is your particular strategy to go through life with a modicum of success, right? It's like
modicum.
Yes, it's
hopefully gratuitous.
Right.
Yeah.
You've particularly you've got that come get it.
Yeah.
Right.
If you want to come take the crown.
Right. But and that's a advantage that you have.
Correct.
But if you don't have it naturally in you,
then you know that we're in your corner.
Yes.
Absolutely. And we got your back. And if you want to DM us, comment us, jump on the Discord.
Oh, you need me to send a message to those guys at your table? Definitely will do that.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah, we should do Caffeine and Cantrips outreach.
Oh, another level of Patreon right there. You want me to do like judgmental comments to people at your table? I'm there.
So you've got an online session. Great. Just like three-way call us in and we'll do your vicious mockeries for you at your table. They might get spicy.
Right? I don't have the YouTube algorithm looming over me in those private messages.
Not a private. This is to say that when we focus on building mutual understanding and finding the common ground through respectful dialogue, even if it has friction as players, if you know that there's trust, safety, and respect there, then you can engage in that conversation safely and come to resolution. Watch the resolution episode. All else failing, feel free to walk away. Feel free to
Yes.
say, you know what, guys? We're not getting anywhere on this.
Mm-hmm.
Can we just go rob a tavern for this session? Or can we just turn this into a shopping episode? Because we need time to understand the concept and brainstorm. I need more time to think about this.
Right.
Oh, there's only 20 minutes left. Can we just end early and maybe talk? Maybe let's just sit and have a drink and just like chill for a bit and try and like ease this out instead of forcing.
If that's what it takes to mitigate the threat to your actual game, then absolutely. Right?
Yeah. Now, throwing it back to the DMs, if this is happening, a resolution tactic could be splitting the party. It could be finding a solution. And this is in your world building, finding a way to make that puzzle piece fit, going into your bag, finding that water slide piece that allows the character and or player with the issue to be a successful member of the team, but maybe not with them. Maybe they're the person distracting the guards while the rest of the group, and they get that advantage. So the other player is still successful, still a part of the party.
Because you're the other side of that equation, right?
Yes.
Never split the party, but splitting the party is only as dangerous as you make it.
So deadly.
DM.
It's true. It's true. And this is in effect a way of shooting the monk, right? They won't do this, but they will do that. Okay, I need to figure out how to make that believable or not in there so that player feels like they're contributing, especially if the player wants to. The player's playing at your game. The character has hiccups, has issues. If we can't figure it out, we figure it out.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And it's okay, like I said, to walk away, to get clarity. Hey guys, you know what? I know we just took a little break like half an hour ago. Let's just do an extra water break right now.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, let's just stretch your legs, figure it out, grab some air. We'll come back in 10 minutes and we'll try this again and we'll see if it works. If it doesn't, we'll move on. Right?
Yeah.
Just uncork the bottle. Let some of the air, let it breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, rounding up, that's the dance, right? And after you've done that, you've had your empathetical conversation, you've narrowed down the root causes, you've done the reassurance, you've respected the boundaries and autonomy of all the other players, you're gonna come to a solution, right? You're gonna find it eventually. You're gonna mitigate that fear, that margin of error, gonna be gone because everybody will understand, everybody will agree with this new path that you've carved out, and it will be awesome. People will remember this, especially if you use these tools, not touting our own horns, but if you use these tools so that you can get in there and turn these issues into impact, into great scenes that the players will never forget.
Yeah. And the important thing is to go through the entire process to that resolution.
Yes.
Because if you stop halfway, it does damage. Right? It hurts and then it does damage. Whereas if you go through the whole process, it hurts more, but once you resolve it, it actually gives you benefits.
Oh, huge.
Right? The next time it's easier.
Huge.
Next time it hurts less.
Well, because then you didn't fail. Like I told you, you didn't fail. You just improved your skills.
Yeah.
You just improved your tools. And now you're a force to be reckoned with. Failure, watch out.
Right. And surprisingly, this will make you a better person in real life.
Ha, gotcha. Always gonna get you.
And more ready to deal with this kind of stuff that happens in real life.
Sure.
Yeah.
It definitely does. It definitely crosses over.
Right? D&D saving lives. Saving lives, saving marriages.
So yeah.
Relationships.
We need to remember it's a team game. It's not an individual experience.
Yes.
We have to remember to respect the journey and everyone else's place on it. And as a general rule, I think generally, we have to become more accepting and more giving the longer this takes to get.
Oh, yes.
Right? We have to become more, not less. Because after all, it's a game where it's about the fun. Unless you like talking for hours about D&D, about the sessions that you had and the people that are there.
Start a podcast.
That's kind of the same thing. It's just spending time together, and maybe spending time with friends is the real treasure.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah.
What a decidedly unsociopathic thing to come to.
I told you from the heart.
Oh.